As some of you may know, I was homeschooled my entire life until I went to a community college, where I soon after proceeded to drop out, but that part's not important. What is important is that I went there and actually got near perfect grades in every single one of my classes except for this one class, with hands down the worst professor I've ever had the displeasure of learning from. It's the start of my first semester at a community college. The sun is shining, the tank is clean, and I actually got some really great times and days on all my classes, so I'm pretty happy. Well, except for math, which was on Mondays, starting at 8 a.m. sharp. And I want to clarify something before we get in too deep. I'm honestly not the worst at math. I don't like it very much. But the problem is I need a college math class of some kind to get that sweet, sweet communications degree, which in theory will help me get a great job in a great field with a great salary. But since I'm not the biggest fan of math and I don't understand why I need it for communications, I picked the easiest math class the college had, which was math for the liberal arts, which is borderline for special people, so this should work out great for me. So I'm talking to my academic advisor, and they're like, oh yeah, math for the liberal arts is a breeze. Except for, no, it's great. You paused for an extra few seconds there. Are you sure it's gonna be a breeze? Oh yeah, you got nothing to worry about. So my first class rolls around on Monday at 8. And I walk up to see a bunch of students hanging out right outside the door. Oh my gosh, Lauren! It's been so long! It's so good to see some familiar faces. I hope we all have better luck this time. This time? Hey everyone! Lauren, good to see you again! Sorry I'm late, let's head in. We all gather in the classroom, and there were enough tables for all of us, so we sit down all over the room. Hi everyone, welcome! My name is Miss Smiley, and I'm just a big, fat bowl of sunshine, and we're gonna have a great semester. And oh, I see we have some familiar faces in this class. How about we all go around, introduce, and give one interesting fact about ourselves? Lauren, you go first. Hi, I'm Lauren. Hi, Lauren. And my interesting fact is that this is actually my second time taking this class. I didn't quite pass the first time, but I'll give it another go. Hi, I'm Jake. Hi, Jake. And my interesting fact actually beats Lauren's, because this is actually my third time taking this class. Wow, what a weird coincidence. I'm Emily, and this is my second time taking this class as well. I'm Brian, this is my third. Second, third. It's only by second. I have high hopes. Every single person who introduced themselves in this room had taken and failed this class in the previous semester. And some the semester before that as well. I don't understand. This is supposed to be the fun math, the easy math. This is supposed to be the math that they give you in college if you're like artistic. So there's something weird going on in here. It's finally my turn, and I go, hey guys, I'm Boards. Hi, Boards. And my interesting fact is that I've actually never taken this class before. This is my first time. Really? Oh my gosh, that's fresh. Day one, Greenie. There's only one person left who still has yet to introduce themselves, and it's the guy sitting next to me. And he goes, hey, I'm Hal. And this is my first time here as well. Okay, first of all, this guy has the worst breath I've ever smelled in my life. Like, it wasn't even funny at this point. This guy should probably go see a doctor. But second of all, this means me and Hal over here are the only ones trying to take this class for the first time. And that makes me a little bit nervous. Like, this teacher maybe isn't the greatest teacher of all time or something? Hey, Boards, right? Can I share your textbook? I haven't gotten mine in yet. Sure. Miss Smiley starts teaching the class, and it's going okay so far. It's a little complicated, but nothing I don't at least kind of understand. When all of a sudden... Yes, Jake! What do you do with the 2? You read it exponentially. Now, when you take this, you... Miss Smiley? Yes, Jake! We never learned how to write it out exponentially. You haven't taught that.
It's because you should know this, Jake. So when I take this 3x...
Miss Smiley?
Yes, Jake!
Do we solve for the x first, or...
You solve it! Oh, that's all for today. See you next week!
I walk out of there so confused. Like, why was she so mean to Jake? It seemed like he was asking perfectly legitimate questions, and I think everyone in the class also wanted to know the answer. I think I'm starting to understand why so many people failed this class. Miss Smiley sends us home with homework to do every day on weekdays, where we need to solve these incredibly, unbelievably annoying problems that take like 10 minutes to solve each. And some of you may be wondering, storyboards, that looks like a calculus problem, not liberal arts math. Oh, don't you worry. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, we had to do like 10 to 15 of these a day. And completing them each week counted toward our whole grade, so they were not optional. And they took so long to solve, especially because Miss Smiley hadn't even really covered this stuff yet. We were just supposed to know it, I guess. So I had to teach myself using the textbook. And it was kind of really annoying because during each class, Miss Smiley would just breeze over all the important curriculum as if we had all heard it already, which I guess most of us have, but not me. And no one else in here has actually been able to pass this class yet. So that should be a reason to maybe, I don't know, teach us? Sup? You mind if I share your textbook again? I still haven't gotten my own yet. You already are. Thanks, man. This went on for weeks. Hal having to share my textbook and me having to teach myself these crazy annoying homework problems. It got to the point where I was actually solving these daily problems pretty easily, but it was no thanks to Miss Smiley because every time someone asked a question in class about the homework or something else we didn't know how to do, it was met with a giant smile, masking what appeared to be a ticking time bomb that could set off at any moment. So we all just kind of learned from our textbooks and filled in all the gaps. Integers. This guy needs his own textbook. We kind of got into this system of learning from our textbooks while Miss Smiley breezes over really important stuff. Until one day, she kind of glossed over something that looked pretty important. And I thought, it'd be nice if she could actually teach this. So I said, excuse me, could you explain that concept a little more? Is that going to be on the test?
Yes, boards! It will be on the test. All of this is in your textbook, so you can read all about it there.
Last time I checked, people with this occupation usually get paid to, teach their students, not just hand them a textbook and expect them to learn themselves. I'm getting kinda annoyed because my parents spent a lot of money for me to get an education here. And since it's a community college, I'm gonna need to go to an actual college after this, no offense to community colleges, if I wanna get a bachelor's degree. And my mom is gonna be so mad if I fail this class because that means more classes, more semesters, and more money. And I need to get good grades for scholarships. I'm not throwing that away just because this teacher sucks. Eventually, midterms roll around, and I've done everything I can possibly do to prepare for this test. I've gone through the textbook as much as I can, trying to understand anything and everything foreign to me because she barely taught us anything, and I think I'm ready. This stuff was never even touched on in class. I've never even seen some of these problems before. I don't even know where to start with this. But it's too late now. The clock has started. I just have to do my best, I guess? After a while, with answers I did not feel good about, I handed the test in. I thought so strongly that I understood the material, especially because of all the homework we had done, but I guess not. The next week, we get our grades back, and A C? This is one of the first C's I've ever gotten. I immediately looked at the test to study what I did wrong, and most of the things were due to a tiny detail, which would have been nice to know if those things were covered in class. I feel like I understood most of the things I did wrong, except for this one problem, which I swear I did correctly. It's one of the things I got wrong that pushed me over the edge from a B to a C. I double and triple checked, and I still had no idea what I did wrong. It was essentially the easiest problem on the entire test, and I was sure I did it right. But it was one of the concepts that I taught myself, so who knows? So when class ended, I went up to Miss Smiley and asked, "Excuse me."
Yes, boards!
"Hi, could you explain to me what I did wrong on this?"
Oh, of course. I don't know what that is.
My answer?
No, I don't know what that is.
I'm talking about this, my answer. I hopefully got the correct numbers.
Nope, I don't know what those are. Those are just random numbers.
I'm clearly not understanding something.
Yeah, you see those numbers? They need to be brackets, or I don't understand what they are.
Oh, the brackets were wrong, but my answer was correct? So, just so I understand correctly, if I had made the parentheses more squiggly, I would have gotten it right?
Yep.
But the numbers were right. Couldn't I even get like half points or something for understanding the concept?
Nope, I don't know what those numbers are without the brackets.
Okay. That would have been nice to know in class.
What?
Nothing. Dude, if I was a teacher, I would have at least given some points for that, for understanding the concept and getting the correct numbers. And hey, if those little brackets are so important it makes the whole answer wrong, I would have, I don't know, taught that in class? If I was a teacher, I would first teach the concepts, and then I would reward my students for understanding them. And if they got things wrong in a technicality, I would tell them and help them not make that mistake again. Not punish them for not understanding a foreign concept I never taught. I would have gotten a B on that if she had literally just given me half points for my answer. But the fact that she just sat there going, "Oh, I don't know what those are. Those are just random numbers," when it was the correct answer, I just didn't swoosh my pencil when drawing the brackets. I am really starting to see why so many people failed this class. And stuff like this kept happening the rest of the semester. Hal shared my textbook every single class telling me he's gonna get one soon, and I would literally cover my nose when talking to him and offer him Tic Tacs, but it never helped. One time, he yawned, and my vision went blurry and I literally almost blacked out. So Miss Smiley would teach the class, give us 50,000 of the exact same type of homework problems a week, and then give us a test that wasn't on any of the material we were taught in class or in the textbook yet. Finals are coming up, and I'm getting very nervous. I'm hovering around a C in the class, and I am not going to fail. No matter how unbelievably impossible it is, I'm doing everything I can to get the best grade possible. It's finals day. We're all stressing out, and Miss Smiley starts handing out the tests. But I notice as she's going around, it's just one paper, which I think is a little weird. Like, usually finals cover all the material you learn that semester, and that's a lot to cram on a one sheet of paper. But I guess hopefully that means this will be kinda easy, maybe? I've never seen this type of problem before. We've done way smaller problems up until this point, but nothing like this. Finals are supposed to test you on all the things you learned that semester, not give you a new concept. I look around and everyone starts working on it. So I guess I should just get started? I start in on this absolute Goliath. I barely know what to do. There are new concepts in this problem we haven't covered yet. I don't know what the rules are. I'm not kidding you when I say an hour passes, and I'm not even halfway done. I'm doing everything I can not to have a mental breakdown. Another hour passes. Not a single person has taken their test up to the front yet. Not even the 3-time class taking veterans. Around another half an hour passes. And finally, I think I have an answer. It may not be the answer, but it's an answer. I'm sitting there wondering how she's gonna grade this. Is she gonna break my problem down piece by piece? Or if it's a simple pass or fail scenario? Whatever it is, I did my absolute best, and there's nothing else I can really do about it now. I'm the first one to stand up and... My chair squeaks so loudly. I start walking, and Miss Smiley just stares at me. Like she's looking directly into my soul. Like she's offended that I stood up first. Like even though it took around 2.5 hours to solve, it was too easy. I walk over, quietly put my test down on her desk, and I whisper, "Good luck, guys." Shh. I walk out of there as fast as I could and slam the door. I'm free. I did it. Even if I fail this class, it's all over. After about a week or two, I finally get my results back and I get a D on the final and a D in the class. I didn't quite fail or anything, but it definitely didn't help my GPA. My mom takes one look and goes, what is this? It's a long story. Well, I'm gonna sign you up for this class again next semester, and you better get an A this time. No, wait, Mom, please don't do that. Why? It should be easier this time since you've taken the class before, right? Mom, you gotta listen to me. I was one of the only students there who hasn't taken and failed that class before. And I still technically passed. I just didn't get a very good grade, but I still did way better than some of those people who were on their second and third attempt. What? That's insane. Is that teacher even doing her job? No! Okay, well, let me look into this and see what else we can do, because you need to have a good grade in some kind of advanced math class in order to get that sweet, totally worth it communications degree. Yeah, whatever it is, as long as I don't have to do that same class again. My mom did some research online, and she actually found an incredible solution. She found a liberal arts CLEP exam, which is basically a single test you take, containing an entire semester's worth of content on a subject, kind of like how a final should be. And if you pass with a high enough grade, it means you can skip that entire college class and earn the credit without actually taking the course. This means if I can pass this liberal arts math test, not only do I get all the credits I need for that sweet communications degree, but I also never have to take another math class again. That week, I go to this random college campus, sit in a quiet room with nothing but a computer from the Stone Age, and all I know is that a perfect score on one of these is 80, not 100 for some reason. So basically, all I need is a 55, and I get credit for the entire class. I press start, and... Dude! This is the easiest crap I've ever seen. This test didn't have a single one of those crazy homework questions we had to do in the other class. This was like kindergarten compared to Miss Smiley's class. I finished that thing in like an hour or less, walked out, immediately got my results back, and I got a 78 out of 80. I was 2 points away from a perfect score. This makes so much sense now. After doing some research, I've concluded about 80% of the stuff that Miss Smiley taught in her class was either advanced mathematics or calculus. And that explains why nothing she taught in the class matched up with any of the tests we took or anything I learned in the textbooks. That's so stupid. I guarantee most of those kids who have already failed this class are just gonna go right in again this next semester for another attempt. But that's why this test is so easy. It's supposed to be what the class was. So I got all the credit I needed for math and flew out of there like a bird with a weight off my shoulders knowing I never have to take Miss Smiley's or any other math class ever again. And my mom was so proud of me. I don't think she believed me at first when I told her how ridiculously hard Miss Smiley's class was, but she does now. We went out to celebrate, and I went on to drop out of college about a year later because of a work opportunity. So thank goodness it was all worth it. And I thought because of this, next semester would be a breeze, but I was so wrong. Because the next semester, I got a stalker, which made focusing on grades very difficult. Definitely check out that video if you haven't already. Hit the link in the description, check out my merch, subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you everybody so much for watching.